So for more insight on this topic, we're joined by Kitty Falk. She is research firm IDC China's managing director. Kitty, thanks for joining us.
Hi.
So Kitty, since that $35 billion merger in August between Didi and Uber, several Chinese users have complained of a hike in Didi and Uber fares, and now China's Commerce Ministry is set to investigate the deal for possible violations of national competition laws. What could this lead to? Could it actually land up scrapping the deal?
Well, I think the key thing is that, for now, today, the Didi is already 90% of the market share. The government need to really understand that whether they will monopolize the market. And need to make sure that they are really providing the best benefits to the other user in China, and that is really important for both parties.
So you don't think that there's any chance that the Chinese Commerce Ministry could intervene and scrap this whole arrangement?
I think at the end of the day, there is a need for this type of platform in China. There's a user demand for it. So the key is that they need to make sure that there's no more monopolies, that is actually provide the real benefit, and the company is actually in a healthy conditions, which is not that much in the past.
Well, meanwhile, China's rules for ride-sharing set to take effect in November. Local governments in a number of Chinese cities have now begun proposing their own rules, and critics say that that could put some of the companies out of business. Why are these rules so problematic?
Well, the policies right now is actually quite difficult, and in fact, if you look at the number of cars and drivers that they actually can meet this policy is really minimal. We are talking about maybe less than 10% of the current driver and car can be legally to run in this business under this policy. So that's really increased the concern, is that in fact a lot of corporate, they have already changed their patterns. In the last 1 year, I noticed that some of the company, they actually, instead of owning their own car service, they actually leverage Didi or the similar company for their service. And there's because there is a restriction in terms of driving your car in different dates. So a lot of the driver, they're already quite used to leveraging this platform for their daily life. So all of a sudden, if the number of cars are limited to provide the service in China, it's really hurting a lot of the usual patterns that they already built up in the last 1 year. And in fact, I think the potential concern is also will the cost increase to all the users at the end?
Well, other than this issue, there are also some internal issues for Didi. The updated Uber app for China is being described as practically impossible for foreigners to use. Why is this app so user unfriendly? What changes have they made?
Well, I think, in fact, the issue of the foreigner to use even the original Uber application is actually quite difficult, because everything is in Chinese, and in fact the map, everything, all the locations, everything is in Chinese, probably because Google Map is not really available in China. So that is one of the issues for a lot of international company or foreigner, that they want to leverage this platform in China. So it is not just about changing application, it is require another technology for the translation services that can help all the foreigner because of the language issue, and they can still leverage this platform.
But one of the big perks of Uber is you download it on your phone and then you can use it anywhere you are in the world, but it doesn't work in China, the app that you can download in the US, for example. Why is that?
Well, you can still use the app, it's just that everything is Chinese, so that is really the real problem. So that's why what I really find out is that with all this platform company, if they, even though they work in a mature market, when they go to the emerging market, because of the cultural issue, because of the language issue, they really need to partner with the local provider, or they need to put in more investment to localize their product in order to work it in the local country. So, in China, it's really because of the language issue. If you go to Indonesia, the issue is because the people actually not really using a car, they're using a scooter. So, and then in India, the issue is because of the traffic jam. So, when a company like this, like Uber, that they go to the different country because of the different local issue and limitation, they need to think about the different platform or like the technology that they need to invest in order to localize the usage. Now, for all the foreign user that they hoping that they can use Uber in the different country, unfortunately at this stage I see that they are not as smooth as to what they are expected.
Well, let's talk about Didi's plans to expand globally. It says it does have big ambitions. President John Lee made that comment very clearly at a recent event in the U.S., saying we are definitely going global. So where do you think is the next most logical frontier for Didi?
I think like Didi already have 90% of the market share in China. It is important for Didi to start to look at globalization as a platform company. Borders is actually one of the advantage. They can actually expand themselves in other countries. I can see that they definitely interest to expand themselves by partnering with a local company as well as their platform to extend it to outside of China. But they will face the same challenges like Uber is facing, is that when they actually step outside of China, and they will face the same localization issue and limitation with other countries. Now, the benefit for Didi is that because they are actually built from an emerging market, which is China, so they already deal with a lot of the limitation within emerging market. It will be easier for them to expand themselves outside of China, but I think partnership is still very important for them in order to be successful.
Yeah, and definitely some strategic partnerships being formed with India's Ola and with Lyft here in the U.S. We'll see how that develops. Thank you so much, Kitty Falk, the Managing Director of IDC China.